the Ahmedabad plane crash. Here is what actually happened to Air India Flight 171. On the early afternoon of June 12, 2025, an Air India Boeing 787 was preparing for pushback at the Ahmedabad Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport in India. The plane was scheduled to fly from Ahmedabad to the London Gatwick Airport. The plane had 230 passengers and 12 crew members on board, so 242 total occupants. The plane also had two highly experienced pilots, pilot Sumit Sabharwal and co-pilot Clive Kinder. At 1:38 p.m. local time, the airplane lined up for takeoff on runway 23 and began accelerating. Everything seemed normal at first as the plane took off. But as the plane reached its highest altitude of 625 feet, so 190 meters, the fuel cutoff switches were suddenly set from run to cutoff. This caused both engines to lose power in this critical stage of flight. The plane then began plummeting towards the ground as the pilots became confused as the captain asked the first officer if he had pulled the switch, to which he replied no. The plane's rat turbine deployed to produce some thrust, but the plane was still plummeting towards a nearby medical college. Seated in seat 11A, the first seat of economy class, was a 40-year-old English national named Vishwas Kumar Ramesh. He was flying to London with his brother. But then, at 1:39 p.m. local time, the Boeing 787 Dreamliner was too heavy and slow to produce lift, and it smashed into the medical college. One of the 242 occupants on the plane were killed, with the sole survivor being Vishwas Kumar, who escaped with just a scratch. 19 others were killed on the ground, and 67 more were injured. With 260 deaths, this is the deadliest plane crash since MH17 in 2014, and the first ever Dreamliner crash. Now Air India has had several notable fuel incidents since this crash, but most importantly, on February 1st, 2026, an Air India Dreamliner had completed its flight, and its fuel cutoff switch moved from run to cutoff by itself.